Okay, before we go into piping up the rain director, please make sure that all pipe work coming down to the rain director and up to the rain director is flushed through with clean water, making sure there is no grit or flux or anything that could cause the solenoids to block. So to pipe up your rain director, point A, 22mm pipe. Now this can be copper or plastic, but for the demonstration we are using plastic pipe. 22mm pipe, using a set of professional pipe cutters. Again, place it in, making sure it's nice and square, cut through. So 22mm pipe, push home, in, making sure she locks in nice and tight. Give it a couple of little pulls to make sure that it's no leakages. This pipe goes back to your underground tank. So on point B, it's 22mm pipe, which you push in, making sure it goes all the way home. Give it a few little tugs to make sure there is no leakages. This is coming from the underground tank up through the control panel to the header tank. It is 25mm pipe coming from the pump into the property, so you will need a 25 to 22mm reducer to connect onto your 22mm pipe. I would recommend putting a gate valve below the control panel, so if you ever need to work on the control panel or the header tank, you can shut the pump off so water doesn't come back up on the loss of pressure. I would also recommend outside taps being teed off on the 22mm pipe before the control panel. So point C is your mains water going through the control panel up to the header tank. That will be in 15mm pipe. Cutting your 15mm pipe, making sure it's nice and square, using a professional pair of pipe cutters. In, squeeze down, cut. So again, push it nicely home, give it a few little tugs to make sure there's no leakages. On this point, I would recommend putting a 15mm gate valve in, so you can turn the mains water off if you ever need to work on the control panel or header tank. D is your pumped water up to the header tank and also your service pipe which feeds your toilets and washing machine. Again, it's in 22mm pipe. So again, push it in all the way home, give it a few little tugs to make sure there is no leakages. I would recommend a 22mm gate valve on the pipe work, so again, if you need to work or service the solenoids, you can shut it off so the water doesn't come back and get wet. E is your mains water going up to the header tank. Again, 15mm pipe, push it in, making sure she's home, a couple of little tugs to make sure there is no leakages. I would recommend a 15mm gate valve so you can close off the mains water if you ever need to service the solenoids. F is your pump filter. Now before removing this filter, I would recommend you close the below and the above gate valves. Once you've shut them off, unscrew the front of the filter. You'll see the wire mesh, wash that under a tap, place back in, making sure it's nice and tight. Once nice and tight, you can then reopen your two gate valves to allow water to go up to the header tank. G is your mains water bypass valve. Now this should be on a clock face at 9 and 3 for rainwater usage. If for any reason there is a power cut or a failure, you can turn this anti-clockwise, so the arrows are pointing at 12 and 6 on a clock face. This will allow mains water to bypass the solenoid and have a 15mm open pipe up to the header tank, so you've got continuous flow of water. When opening this, please make sure that you power off the control panel. H is your power in and your Cat 5. I would recommend powering up your Cat 5 in any of the two ports underneath the control panel. That is then linked to the header tank, which has the sensor bar in, which controls the flow rates. You then have a 12 volt AC adapter I would close your mains water bypass, making sure the arrows are at 9 and 3 on a clock face. Power up the control unit. That will then send it into its auto commission.